I'm Fred McMurray. Good morning, and we're back again with Ray Pillar on Pillar's Principles for Starting a Business. Hi, Ray. How are we doing today?
Good. How are you?
Coffee's starting to kick in, so feeling better now. You well know.
Still doing mine.
Almost done with mine.
Oh, you're buying the expensive stuff, huh?
Yeah, well, it was an early morning and getting in, and um, uh, as we've talked about pricing in past episodes, I did find that we found this one type of coffee that was about $10 a pack. And I thought about it and like, well, that's expensive. But then I thought, given that this is now, the Starbucks mocha is now about $5.50, I'm thinking,
Wow.
wow, two of these equal one bag of that. And I get like 10 pots of that.
There you
Maybe
go.
more expensive coffee isn't a bad thing. So, on that topic, today we're going to talk about, can go back to our discussion of starting a business. And so today we're going to talk kind of about, we're going to start with funding the business. So the basic question is how do I know if I have the money, the funds, the resources to start a business?
How do you know? Well, obviously, you know what money you have in the bank and what you're able to afford. And obviously, as you start looking for something, um, if you go in if you're starting your business from scratch, you're probably going to need a little more money than if you do a franchise. At least with a franchise, you pretty much have a set cost, and you have, for lack of a better term, a starter kit to get you going. You're not going completely cold turkey, but finding the funds can be difficult or easy depending, I think, on on the next topic. What is your passion? And that's why I said that basically these two topics need to be blended, because simply if you're passionate, you will find the money. You keep on digging until you find it. And what a lot of people do is they look at their 401k, and there's ways of borrowing from that. The problem with that, of course, is that you've got to pay it back, within a reasonable time. And you can cash in your 401k, and you pay the 10% penalty plus tax. You know, so that's another way of doing it. There's friends and relatives, which has a upside
Yeah.
and a downside. Obviously, if you're going to have a partner, it requires you to you're not the answer man. You have to go and ask permission for a lot of things that happen within the business. So I found that if you're passionate enough about your business, you will find the money. You may have to go to 10 banks, or you may have to go to 10 friends and get turned down a lot. But if you are motivated enough, there's always a way of finding some way of funding that business.
All right. So you mentioned franchise, and I know with franchise, buying a franchise, a lot of times you can get funding through an SBA loan.
Yes.
Um, I am not really aware of any SBA programs that will help you start a non-franchise. SBA kind of seems to say, yeah, we don't care until you become
Right. Right.
large enough. What about banks? Will banks give you a loan to start a business?
In my case, I was able to find a loan from a bank, but as far as funding for a non-franchise, that's where you definitely will need a pretty good business plan, as we had discussed on our previous episode. They want to know, what are you doing? Are you selling something, making something, or and how are you going to do it? So yeah, it becomes a lot more involved if you're not going with a franchise. Obviously, with a franchise, they can also look at a track record, so of other franchise owners that have decided to buy that particular franchise. So uh, and then of course we can get into new franchises and old franchises, and that's another topic. But I've always found that, and I like the term fire in the belly. If you have the fire in the belly for a business, whatever it is, you will find a way. It's as simple as, it's pretty simple. You've got to have the fire in the belly.
Well, I think, and just as a comment, I know that something like 92% of all small businesses fail within the first 5, 6 years, something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I won't say I've met all of them. I've met a good chunk of them. And it usually seems they don't have that long-term fire in the belly of I don't want to work on somebody else's time is what I always
Yes, yes.
uh,
One of the sayings I like is failure is not an option, and it can't be an option, especially if you've taken everything that you own, you've taken all your 401k, and you've borrowed heavily on your home. If you have one, then it's simply not an option. You cannot do it.
so I want to go back real quick. So for somebody that's starting off a business but not a franchise, um, the options really seem limited to basically either money you already have somewhere or friends and family because uh from what
Yes, it becomes more difficult. Yes, to get
with
money.
a bank or something like that, they want an exhaustive plan, and then they want to see something that's unique. So, just starting off a car washing thing, car washing company in your backyard ain't going to get you funding.
Nope.
All right. Any last comments on passion or funding?
I think they're linked. I think that if you are passionate about what you want to do, you will find the funding.
I think you're right. But we'll talk more about that on the next episode of Pillars Principles. We'll be back next week with Ray for more ways to start your business.